If you leave it to the what have you done for me lately, Ciryl Gane can't wrestle. Spivac's going to take him down, smash him, submit him, TKO him, whatever. And Ciryl Gane is a blast from the past at this point. Don't really think that's true. Think there's a lot more that goes into this matchup. And my first question to you is, do you think that Serghei Spivac being compared to what John Jones did to Ciryl Gane is even a fair assessment, man? Like, you have to be able to close the distance. Jones did it with superior striking and a history of just destroying champions over the course of his career. Spivac doesn't have that. What do you think that means?
That means I think he's going to have a lot harder time doing exactly that to Ciryl Gane, Derek. Just because John Jones, one of the most elite to do it, both in the hands, the feet, and the mix them up all around, just because he was able to do it and make basically easy work of Ciryl Gane, does not mean the polar bear is going to do it. Yes, he's going to come in and do his best to do that, to get to the hips, to get him to the ground and beat him up, ground and pound. But having that exchange, the mix him up and the stand up where he's still at range, I think that's where Ciryl Gane's going to strive best. We've seen him do it before, where he's actually one of the fighters that is able to maintain range. He's a new hybrid of a heavyweight where he's able to dance around, have the quick blast movements, but still be able to hit with a lot of power. My question, Derek, because do I think Serghei Spivac's going to get this fight to the ground? Highly unlikely. But if Spivac does get this to the ground, Derek, what's your chances are, or what do you think the chances are of Ciryl Gane actually getting up and making it a dogfight after that?
That's a great question, because a lot of what I'm hearing is Serghei Spivac has 5 rounds to get 1 takedown. And if he can get 1, the fight is over. And I was just thinking, well, Ciryl Gane is not bad on the ground. If you look at the spot John Jones had him in, it was a really interesting. Your back is against the cage, you're hunched over, and he's got this kind of standing modified guillotine that he's done to the greatest to do it. I'm pretty sure he did that to Lyoto Machida as well. Like, he has that on lock. It's a very tight submission. It's very quick, and it comes on before you know it. Now, Serghei Spivac is a little bit of a different type of animal with his submissions. He's looking for more arm triangle type situations, might take your back, rear naked choke. But Ciryl Gane has an underrated ground game. It's just poor IQ at sometimes, right? So it's against Francis Ngannou, you have the ability to control on the grappling and you go for a heel hook, and it's just like, but he can do that type of stuff. So to answer your question, what are the odds of, or I guess out of 10 or out of 5 times, like if Serghei Spivac got him down 5 times, how many times could Ciryl Gane get up? Realistically, I would say maybe 2. I really think 2 is the number right there, and it has to be a situation where Spivac takes him down, Gane is against the cage, and he's able to get to his knee, get back up. I think if it's the middle of the cage, we're going to have some problems here. How much does that worry you, being a Ciryl Gane better in this matchup?
A lot, actually, Derek. I was trying to find a little analogy for it, but a lot, yes, because Serghei Spivac does have a way of finding himself in the middle, finding himself inside punching range with his kind of that, not necessarily a blitz style, but the way he likes to walk forward and control the fight. And yes, Ciryl Gane does have a way around skirting around the outside and controlling that range. But sometimes when heavyweights get to clashing and you have those massive amount of weight actually moving forward, that's where I think Serghei Spivac's going to find a lot of the success in this fight, is in those exchanges. Do you think this one, if it gets clinched up, are they staying there? Because I'm expecting Gane to be bouncing around the outside. But if Spivac's able to get his hands on the Gane, do you see any form of success coming from him?
From Gane or from Spivac?
From Spivac.
Yes, here's the thing. Spivac has some sick judo throws, which a lot of them are initiated from the clinch, grab an underhook, be able to kind of start initiating, turn a hip, things like that. The thing about Ciryl Gane, though, that I think a lot of people are forgetting about this is that his main sport before MMA was Muay Thai. Well, guess what? He has a nasty Thai clinch, man. Knees, elbows, inside shots to be able to break off and then continue to get back out at range. I think the clinch actually would be a little bit more of a dangerous spot for Spivac if he's not immediately able to get a takedown. Because Gane, I think because Ciryl Gane is going to create damage within the clinch, push back out to range, and then just keep him there. AJ, one matchup I want to think about or review really quickly was Serghei Spivac versus Tom Aspinall. Not the same fighter as Ciryl Gane, but probably the closest thing that he's going to see. Serghei Spivac was relegated to the back foot the entire matchup, and then this is the one key here. The reason Aspinall had success is because the moment Spivac shot, sprawl, hips back, push the pace, put him out, right? Does Ciryl Gane have the sprawling capacities within him to recognize it? Because it's surprising, bro. You see it too often. Dudes shoot for a double, and they don't even try to get their hips back. They just stay there and get taken down. So what do you think?
You do see it more often than not, as much as you'd expect these guys to train for it. So it is a surprising fact, Derek. And I'm trying to think of when we've seen Ciryl Gane do that. Does actually have sprawl and brawl, have his hips out, and maybe the last time possibly Derek Lewis. But even then, Derek Lewis isn't a collegiate wrestler. He's not going for takedowns. He just saw a takedown and actually was able to sprawl. Even in the Francis Ngannou fight, getting out wrestled by Francis was a shocker to the world. So can Ciryl Gane be able to sprawl and brawl? Yes, it's possible. Do I think he's going to be able to do it against a fighter like Spivac? Not necessarily, Derek. We were speaking earlier in the intro about how the MMA, now that it has become legal, more people are training MMA in general. Ciryl Gane was the old school kind of fighter where he was just training the Muay Thai while he was coming up. So having to develop those kind of skills later on in his career, I think that's going to be one of the hardest parts for him. But maybe, he got absolutely what's the word I'm looking for, exposed in the John Jones fight for his ground game. So that is the new key for everybody going forward. But I think he might have enough ego to be working on it super hard with how smooth his striking is. I'm curious, Derek, because I was looking over here at the odds. 900 plus 900 submission. Do you see any juice on that one, or is this just club and sub, or ground and pound and get away from him if it's anything other than that?
I think Ciryl Gane's too smart of a fighter to play into Spivac's game. Doesn't really make sense unless he catches him once again like a heel hook type situation, but I hope he would learn from the Francis Ngannou lessons, because you go for a heel hook against Spivac and you don't get it, you're getting your face smashed in. It's as simple as that. Don't play those games against Serghei Spivac. AJ, let's call our shot on this one. I like Ciryl Gane. You like Ciryl Gane. My reasoning for this is I think that being the hybrid that he is, wins over Junior Dos Santos, Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Alexander Volkov, Derek Lewis, Tai Tuivasa. Only 2 losses have come against 2 former champions, John Jones and Francis Ngannou, and that's the scary part, man. You have one is the greatest to do it. The other one is arguably the scariest man that the UFC has ever seen until he left. So I think that with the resume, you cannot look at Ciryl Gane and just say, oh, Spivac, easy money, he's going to win, I think you keep it simple, you keep it plain, and I say Ciryl Gane, as tempted as I am to take the plus 115 TKO, because we've just seen him break dudes down over the course of 3-4 rounds, I think he skates out of there with a plus 535 decision. Should have been my prop lock, but heavyweights, you can never trust it. So, AJ, what do you think?
You can never trust him. That's why I was curious about the odds, because that does seem a lot safer in my mind, Derek, but I'm actually taking the plus 115 TKO. I'm going to take it early as well, man, round 2.
I think Serghei Spivac is a phenomenal fighter, and I think that his time just is not yet against this caliber of fighter, but he's right there against the guy who is not named Ciryl Gane or John Jones or Stipe or, stuff like that. So with that being said, that is your main event. Exciting UFC Paris main event.